Welcome back to Math 107 College Algebra. In this video, we're going to take a look at ways we can make a function one-to-one so we can find its inverse. So the function we're going to be looking at here is f of x is equal to x squared minus 2. So if I were to graph this, I would find that the function is going to look something like that. So with that horizontal line test that we derived from class last time, we can see that clearly intersects the graph more than once. So what we can do differently here is I have that x-axis there, or y-axis there. And I note that along and to the right of the y-axis, there I'm never going to have a horizontal line hit it more than once, so it is one-to-one on that. So, I can find the inverse if I go with function f of x is equal to x squared minus 2, where x is greater than or equal to 0. So now the procedure to find the inverse is going to be the same as it was before. I replace f of x with y. And right now I'm going to ignore this whole thing about x being greater than or equal to 0 and just work it as is. We will bring that back later. So now we're going to switch x and y. And now it's a matter of solving this for y, so we add 2 to both sides. And now we can take the square root of both sides. And this is where that restricted domain is key. Because normally, if I take the square root of both sides of an equation like this, I need to include plus or minus because that square root could end up being positive or negative. But here, because of my original function, I restricted the domain to non-negative values of x. I only need the positive square root, or I should say non-negative, because it is possible that we could have x equal to negative 2 down there. Square root of 0 is 0. So we're only going to be interested in the non-negative root there, so I don't need to put a plus or minus on that. So now the final step is simply going to be to state f inverse of x is equal to the square root of x plus 2. So that's how we can restrict the domain to get ourselves an inverse function. So that's all we're really going to talk about on inverses of functions. In the next set of videos, we're actually going to do the in-class activity on them first, about different types of symmetry we get with functions.